So we're able to scale to 6 figures with just using cold calling. Now, the thing is, everyone hates cold calling, and I know it sucks in the beginning, but it's the fastest way to get to 6 figures if you're completely broke. And it's just about sweat equity and going through pain. Now, a lot of people think that the script does matter, and it does matter, don't get me wrong. But the most important thing about the script or cold calling in general is how you say it and your energy behind the call. So I'm going to walk through not only the script that we use, but the tonality behind it to make sure that everything is good to go, right? So let's hop into Miro. I'm going to walk you through the tonality that you need to have before you even hop on the call in the first place, right? So I'm here in Miro. Now, the thing is, though, we have a coaching program where we help people, of course, scale their own agencies. And one of our clients, he had a lot of trouble with this, right? Because the thing is, he really was putting in a lot of effort. He was cold calling tons of people per day. But the problem was that his tonality was terrible. He sounded very horrible. He sounded like sad and kind of like scared on the phone, right? Now, here's the thing. Before you ever do anything, you want to make sure you sound confident, clear, and concise, right? The 3 C's. I say confident, clear, and concise, right? Even though that doesn't look like a C, but just bear with me, guys. So basically, that's what you want, because if you don't sound confident, they're not going to trust you. If you don't sound clear, they're going to hang up on you. If you don't sound concise, it's not going to be quick enough. Now, your goal and your mindset is to make sure that you just get to the next section, right? So there are different sections of a cold call that you must go through. First thing is the greeting, then the pitch, then after you go to the pitch, then booking a meeting, right? You have to make sure you get through each step of the call, and your goal is to get to the next step. So let's say, for example, you're calling a plumber, right? So your first goal is to just say hello, right? Just make them to say hello and just get them to pick up the phone, right? Once you get them to pick up the phone, your next step is to then get them to pitch, right? So you want to be able to get their permission to pitch them, right? Because you should never open up a call with just pitching somebody without knowing anything, because it's just never going to work, right? You want to have a system where you feel like you're giving someone time and the effort that they deserve, right? You want to be able to make sure people feel like they've been heard and you're considering them. If you just start pitching without even saying anything, and they're going to be like, oh, what is this, and hang up, right? Because you're just not taking advantage, or you're not considering them and their time, right? So it's all about empathy on a call. So first you say hello, then you have the pitch, and after the pitch, you just book the call. Right? Very simple. And there's different steps along the way to do it, but basically you just want to get to the next step. So you must be confident. If you sound very, like, of course, unconfident, if you have a lot of filler words, and if you don't sound like you know what you're doing, no one's going to buy from you. I guarantee it, right? You have to go over this over and over again. And the best way to make sure that you are good at this, and you can focus more on actually your tonality, is to just memorize your script. Now, a lot of people won't say this, but you must know your script from the back of your hand. If you don't know your script, then you won't succeed, because if you're too focused on saying the words, you won't understand how to say them. So you must really focus on understanding your script and making sure you're good to go. Make sure everything is good so that you can focus more on actually how you say it and how you could help them. Now, I'm going to walk you through our script that we use to get to 6 figures. Very simple script, but there's certain points of it that really are important that you must understand to make sure you actually close these deals. So let me guys switch over to the script that we have. And if you guys want access to the script, just click the link below, hop on a call with us, and we'll figure out if we're a good fit to work together, right? You can have access to the script and access to our one-to-one help. But basically, what you want to do, you need to have these core mindset ideas. Of course, you must be happy and friendly on the call. Do not perceive the decision maker as above you in any way. That's a big thing about confidence. If you're not confident in yourself, there's no way someone else is going to be confident in you, right? So after that, it says how you say is way more important than what you say, which is very true. Exude confidence, charm, and wit. Control is key. You must always be in control. Now, the one who controls the call is the one who asks questions. If you're the one who asks questions on the call, you make them say what you want them to say. And that's super important. Imagine you're in an interrogation room and someone's interrogating you, they ask the questions, right? Because they're in control. So we make sure questions are important. And always, no matter what, always redirect the conversation to asking them to book a call with you. You never ever want to end something with dead space. Be like, hey, so what do you think? Never do that, because the thing is, though, it just makes them, it gives them the ability just to say no. You always want to lead them back to a call, right? Now, and you want to show extreme consideration for the person on the call to make sure they feel like they're being listened to and taken care of, right? So if I'm very considerate of another person's time, effort, or life, it's very, very nice. It's way easier because they seem like, wow, this guy actually cares. He's not just trying to make money from me, right? So that's really big as well. So let's walk through just a simple walkthrough of the pitch, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So let's go down here. I have multiple scenarios. Let's say scenario one is if you don't have the owner's name, or if you do have the owner's name. So let's just go here. Let's just say you have the owner's name. You want to say, hey, is this John? And they're going to say yes, because that's the name of the owner. Then they'll be like, hey, John, I'll be totally honest with you. This is a sales call, so please don't hate me. Would you happen to have a quick 30 seconds? If not, all good. You see how I said that there? It was very, very enticing and engaging. I said, hey, John. I didn't say, hey, John. I said, hey. I said, hey, John. I didn't just say, hey, John, how's it going? Like, it's much more I said, hey, John, how's it going? I was like, oh, hey, John, how's it going, bro? Like, it wasn't monotone. You don't want to be monotone. You want to have your pitch go like this, up and down, to make it very enticing. I said, hey, John, I'll be totally honest with you. This is a cold call, so please don't hate me. Would you happen to have a quick 30 seconds? If not, all good. Right? That's so much better. So you want to make sure that you sound very, very enticing. And if you don't be like, this is too salesy, right? This is what people want to hear, right? No one's going to hop on the call and want to hear someone who's dead, right? So there's that. And usually when you say that, they're going to be like, oh, haha, so funny, right? You want to actually laugh a bit. You want to have a little bit of laugh, like, haha, like something, even if it sounds fake, just have a laugh, because people are going to be like, oh, well, okay. And be like, depends on what you're selling. Then you go into your pitch about what you're selling. Now, this is, of course, different compared to like what you do, obviously, but this is basically the boilerplate that we use. So it's like, okay, great, thank you. I appreciate you for giving me your time, right? So my name is Zach, and our company's been working with, real estate agents across your general area. And basically what we are offering is, let's say, 10 listing appointments in 90 days. And if we don't get you that, you don't have to pay anything. Does that kind of sound like a fair deal? Very simple, very awesome, and people love that, and that booked us tons of calls, right? So after we got the hello, we got to the pitch, that's great. Then basically after the pitch, they'll be like, oh, okay, how's that work? How do you guarantee that? Whatever, if they're interested. If not, they'd be like, whatever, but once they're interested, very simple. Then you go into, of course, explaining it. Now, like I said, this is very unique to your offer, but you just want to explain what your offer does, how you can help them, and then you always want to end, as you can see here, end on asking them to hop on a Zoom call. That is a mandatory, right? You never want to have dead space in there. So you say, hey, whatever, here's the time, that sounds good, and you want to make sure that the call is very, very like low. It's not that low commitment, right? You want to have low commitment, because the thing is, though, if you make the call seem like a big deal, they're not going to go through. It really isn't a big deal, too. It's just like a 15-20 minute call. It's not that big of a deal, right? So I think that's the best way to do it. And of course, you book the time on the calendar, and then things like that go. But basically, your main goal, and especially in this opener, is to understand that you must make them feel like they're taken care of and you care about them. So genuinely, before you even go into your pitch, you tell them, hey, this is the pitch, just letting you know. And they'll be like, oh, wow, I really appreciate you for like caring about my time. And usually, even if they say no, they still appreciate your upfrontness. And this will help us book tons of calls and close tons of deals. So it's honestly an amazing system. Like I said, if you guys want one-to-one help on actually how to scale and grow this, just click the link below, hop on a call with us. We'll show you exactly how our cold calling system works and how we set up and go high level. But that's basically the exact mindset you want to have and the script that you want to scale and grow your business with cold calling. Is it okay?